Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 12th and final round.
Right hand, Golovkin steps in and down he goes again. Unbelievable. Mayweather makes him pay. What a rookie mistake. A sensational left hook by De La Hoya.
It's facts. I'm the best. You know what I mean? Sometimes I don't want to believe it myself, but it's the truth. I'm the best. I'm going to show you how great I am.
From Southern California, this is the Last Round Podcast.
And we're back with another edition of the Last Round Boxing Podcast, and this with our interview of the week. He's coming off his 7th professional win on a Golden Boy card on DAZN this past weekend in Palm Desert and within the Coachella Valley. Cayden Griffiths, 19 years old, joins us on the Last Round. Thank you for joining us, Cayden.
Thank you for having me.
You got it. So, before we kind of jump into that fight that you just had this past weekend, we saw some info online. You know, everybody kind of goes to BoxRec for a lot of info on boxing and all that stuff. So we saw some information that we want to get cleared up. So it says that you're from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. You were born there. But then on BoxRec, it says that you reside in Lake Havasu, Arizona. But obviously there's information out there that says that you now live in the Coachella Valley. So where are we at here?
Yeah. So, I mean, yes, I was born in Pennsylvania. I moved to the Coachella Valley when I was like 6, turning 7. And then when I got my license to drive, it was just a lot easier to get it in Arizona. And we had a rental property out there at the time. So we just used that address. And then when I signed up to register as a professional, I only had the Arizona ID, so I reached out to BoxRec twice. I just haven't fixed it yet. So,
well, hopefully after this interview, that you'll kind of get their attention. So, because it says Arizona on there, but obviously we saw on, broadcasts and everywhere else, articles and stuff. It says you're Coachella Valley training with Joel Diaz.
So that would be a killer commute. Lake Havasu to Joel's gym every day, yeah.
Yeah, that's a freaking hell of a drive for sure.
How did you get into boxing? Was it like a family affair? With did family members, were they boxing, or did you see something? Did you see something on TV growing up? How'd you get into it?
So my mom and my grandpa were big boxing fans growing up, and then my dad did some martial arts back in the day. But it was actually my mom who really wanted me to box. I was signing up for soccer when I moved out here, when I was turning 7 years old. And my mom saw a boxing gym, right by the signups. And she was like, let's check that out. So we went in there. We talked to the coach that worked there and everything. And he was like, yeah, bring him in tomorrow. And he's got a spar on the first day. If he can last around with one of the more experienced guys, I'll train him. But he's got to prove to me that he's tough enough to last. So we showed up the next day. I was the first kid to last around. And I guess over a year, the kid that I sparred was sending home 12-year-olds and 13-year-olds home crying. So, I started training, and I was actually supposed to start soccer practice. So I let the coach know. I was like, hey, I'm not going to be here this upcoming week. I have soccer practice, blah, blah, blah. He says, I'm not going to, work with a fighter that's, training part-time. You got to choose one or the other. So I chose boxing. And then about 8 months later, I started training with Antonio and Joel, and I've been there ever since.
How was getting punched in the face for the first time? Because you know what boxing's like. People show up in the gym. As soon as they spar and they get punched in the face, they're like, oh, no, this isn't for me.
Honestly, I think my adrenaline was just going so fast. I genuinely can't remember what it felt like to get punched in the face the first time. But, no, it honestly wasn't too bad. But I've always been a tough kid. I always was a kid that liked to get my hands dirty and kind of get rough and stuff. So, it wasn't really anything too out of the ordinary for me.
Who were your favorite fighters growing up?
Oh, I was a huge Triple G fan at the time. I kind of did a little knockoff of Triple G. I did Triple T for a bit. And then I found out that Josh Taylor had that as his nickname, and he kind of ruined it for me. So
what was the Triple T?
Well, my family calls me Turtle.
Oh.
So we just figured Turtle Triple T. We really don't know. It was just kind of there. But no, it stuck for a bit. And then, yeah, Josh Taylor started to become more worldwide known. And I was like, yeah, I can't have the same nickname as this guy. So
Turtle, I mean, does that indicate like slow speed, or is that just like a family nickname that has nothing to do with speed?
It's a family nickname. I used to eat really slow as a kid. I used to make my dad late for work. Yeah, I used to eat like Fruity Pebbles, and like I would individually like eat one pebble at a time just to taste test it and just be a jerk. Yeah, I was a dumb kid, dude. I don't know.
Okay, so that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining that a whole bowl, one at a time. Like,
no, it was bad. No, I like it. It sounds funny, but it was actually bad. It was a problem for sure.
So you mentioned that your mom and your grandpa were boxing fans. You know, they were kind of into the sport. You know, who were some of their favorite fighters or favorite fights, at least from what they told you or what you remember?
I don't think my grandpa really had a favorite fighter. My grandpa was just like a boxing purist. Like he would watch every fight. Like it was actually ridiculous. Like he probably has better boxing knowledge than I do. But no, my mom, she was more of a casual fan. She just liked boxing in general. Like she just liked watching fights and stuff like that. But I know my grandpa really liked Triple G. And I think that's kind of why I started really liking him, because he would always talk about him when I was growing up. But I mean, some of the older guys, he loves Roy Jones. He loves some other guys too. But now, I mean, I'm his favorite fighter. Yeah, without a question. But no, he's just a boxing fan in general. So,
is there one fight? Because you mentioned being a big fan of Triple G, Gennady Golovkin. Is there one fight that kind of is memorable to you that he had, or like a knockout punch that you remember?
I remember watching his fight with Willie Monroe Jr. And I genuinely thought that was one of his best performances, just because I just love that fight. I still watch it to this day, just because I feel like that was just a brilliant performance against a mover. And like, I used to fight a lot of that kind of style in the amateurs, kind of movers like that. So, you know, at the time I didn't really have the power to put guys down like that. But now, as I'm kind of adapting, I'm getting older and stronger and everything like that, I'm noticing certain things from that fight that I picked up. I'm starting to use it in the ring now, and it's just a great fight.
Did you ever have, you know, when you started boxing, you mentioned how you walked into that gym and the coach or the trainer had said, if he can last one round, you know, we'll take a look at him. You know, as you started from that point going forward, did you ever have a moment where you kind of second guessed the path you were on? Like, should I keep doing this? Do I want to keep coming here getting punched in the face? Or, you know, like, because you're growing up and you're learning new things, you're going to school, you know, like, did you ever have any of those feelings?
No, my parents actually tried to, like, you know, give me the option to, because they didn't want to feel like they were forcing me to do it. So, like, when high school came around, they told me to try out for, like, you know, football or basketball or something. I mean, obviously I was really short at the time, so that would have been a terrible idea. But I really didn't have a desire to. I've always been an athlete. Sports have always come kind of naturally to me. But, like, I just had no desire to really do anything but box. And, like, I kind of hated the idea of team sports as I got older, too, because if you lose, it's not always your fault. You know what I mean? If you win, you don't get all the fame and all the glory. So I'm kind of selfish in that way. If I'm going to have the spotlight, I'm going to make sure that, like, it's all on me. You know what I mean?
So you had said, I believe in another interview, that you were the only white guy in the gym, and everybody singled you out and wanted to fight you. How did you handle that? How did you attack something like that?
I mean, in the gym, it wasn't really an issue. I mean, sometimes there would be dads, and, you know, that would kind of have an ego over the fighter. It wasn't necessarily the fighters. It was more their dads, like, oh, yeah, like, this white kid, like, who does he think he is? Blah, blah, blah. Like, let's get in there and show him who's boss. But, no, it was mostly when we would go to fights. In the gym, everybody's really respectable. Everybody kind of saw the work ethic that I had and all the work that I was putting in. But we would go to the fights, and people would see me. I was a scrawny white kid. You know, I'd look I looked like I would cry if I got hit with a friggin' feather, dude. So, everybody thought, we can get in there and friggin' stop this kid. And yeah, I mean, it got to the point where I was just out dogging these kids. I was just out working them. I was just out doing them and everything. I would beat them with skill. I'd beat them with heart. I just was beating everybody. And then it got to the point where we would start having to pre-match, and then people would pull out of pre-matches. We'd drive 4 hours to go to a show, and there would be 5 people in my division, and they would all match up with each other, but not me. So, I mean, there was definitely some ducking in the amateurs. I don't really understand that looking back. The amateurs is when you can take those losses and learn from it. But, no, as we got older, we stopped going to local shows, and we only went to national tournaments because at least then we were guaranteed a fight. So that was the only really thing that I had to deal with. But, no, for the most part, everybody in the gym has always been respectful and everything like that.
What do you remember about the first days or a couple weeks of starting to train at the Diaz gym in the Coachella Valley?
Oh, it was awesome. My dad always wanted me to be around the pros to kind of learn from them because, the amateurs were cool and everything, but, I always kind of had a pro style, and we were never really fans of the amateur style, as far as just the, pity pat, tap and move, and it just isn't realistic for the pro game. So my dad would bring me in there, and this was around the time Vergil and all those guys, they were starting to turn, Vergil was turning pro. Lucas Matisse was in there. We started having Russians come in and everything like that. So my dad just thought it'd be better for me to be training with those guys and learn from them and pick up things from them than training with the amateur guys, because a lot of the amateur guys were young, and a lot of the amateur team that we had back then doesn't even box anymore. So it was a lot of questionable dedication on the team. And my dad wanted me to be surrounded by, people that were, dedicated and wanted to win.
So with Diaz, what was, coming from, because you started at that other gym for the initial start of your career, and then go to somebody like Joel Diaz, who, the Diaz gym has a lot of professional fighters, very established. What was the first moment training there, whether it's with him or somebody else in the gym, that you really noticed, okay, there's a different vibe in this gym. I can feel it because of the pros and all that. I
mean, being around guys like that, I mean, they're great fighters, but they were even famous at the time too. Even Vergil, he wasn't as big as he is now. But, I mean, growing up in the amateurs, he had a big name. So, I mean, just the stardom in the gym, the name, Joel Diaz, that, he trained Timothy Bradley. It was holy smokes. This is legit. This isn't just a corner of the street boxing gym. This is legit training camp. You know what I mean? And, we used to do team runs and stuff like that. We still do. But back then it was different. I was, 10, 11, 12 years old, running and training with these guys that are in their mid-20s. It was just a different kind of aura and kind of different level of training. And I think that's kind of the reason why I'm at where I'm at today. Just because of that kind of high level experience, just being around those guys since a young age.
Any funny stories from the gym, Cayden, you can tell us? Because I know Joel and Antonio are hilarious.
Oh, man. Honestly, I think I get in trouble if I put the really good ones. But no,
you can leave names out.
Yeah, no. Because if I tell you, you'll definitely know who I'm talking about. No, but I mean, every day is funny. One thing that I really like about where I train is it's lighthearted and it's serious at the same time. When it's time to work, it's time to work. But after training and everything like that, we're able to kind of mess around with each other and, not keep it, strictly business. We're a family in there. Everybody in there is a family, is a dynamic that, outside of the gym, like I'm able to hang out with these guys and it not be like awkward. Like we're all close with each other. And like, I was just talking about this in another interview. Boxing has made us so much closer to where like, you know, it doesn't matter where like our backgrounds are from. Like, you know, I'm originally from a different state. You know, I grew up in a completely different lifestyle as some of these other guys. And we're still able to like be cool and be super good friends and brothers, regardless of everything. So the fact that, you know, we all train together and we feed off each other, I think it's just really great.
Have you learned anything from the Spanish language since you've been training there all these years?
Only like the bad words and stuff. No, I mean, I picked up a little bit. Certain things. I mean, I haven't really put too much effort into trying to learn. I need to get on that. Everybody's been telling me I'm just kind of dumb and I don't really like listening to people. But no, I'm going to start learning. I don't really got much else to do outside of training camp. I got a few weeks off, so I'm going to definitely be brushing up on my Duolingo and stuff like that.
How is your Uzbek?
I know like 3 words. Honestly, I know what the words, like how to pronounce them. I don't know what they mean. They could be the worst things ever, and I would have no idea.
You made me laugh when I was watching your vlog, and you said the Beck the bully is pretty much your best friend. Yeah, he doesn't speak English, and you don't speak Uzbek.
I swear to God, if that guy spoke any more English, he would totally be the best man at my wedding. That guy is literally the coolest dude ever. Yeah, no, like even when he showed up to the locker room at my last fight, I was like, oh my God, like it's just hilarious seeing him. Like he's like the cool uncle at a barbecue. It's like,
Yeah.
What are you doing here? Like, you know what I mean? It's just, yeah.
So your amateur career includes winning a gold medal at the Junior Olympics National Championship, 5 California state titles, and multiple national accolades, including becoming a national PAL champion and national silver gloves champion. You were also a junior golden gloves champion and a 2-time junior Olympic silver medalist. Out of all those, and I'm sure I'm missing something, but out of all those that I just listed, which one is the most memorable out of those accomplishments?
I want to say the national PAL championship that I won was the most rewarding, but I want to say the most memorable was when I won the silver at the Junior Olympics the second time. And it's not memorable in the fact that, you know, in a positive way, it's memorable because I put hands on this dude, just spanked him for 3 rounds, and they robbed me from it. And, you know, I had a bunch of people reach out to us, you know. I had the vice president of USA Boxing actually pull me aside after the fight, sat me down and said, like, I'm really sorry, like, you won that fight. And, you know, I was a kid at the time, so, I mean, I used to take losses really hard in the amateurs. And, you know, I was bawling. I was crying, and friggin' I knew I won that fight clean. And, you know, that was just one of those things where for the rest of my career, I knew that amateur boxing wasn't fair. Like, if I was to win a fight, it was because I dominated. I never won a close fight in the amateurs. I think I have around like 15 to 17 losses in the amateurs, and every single one of them was either a close fight or a robbery, or there's probably 5 that I could say, like, I genuinely lost. And I'm my biggest critic. Like, I think I looked like crap my last fight, I'm going to be honest. But no, for me to say that I only lost 5 fights in the amateurs, like, legit, that says something. And, you know, it's sad because, you know, there's a lot of fighters even now. They're paying all this money to go to these tournaments. You know, they're not paying you in amateur boxing. You're paying to go there. So, you know, families that don't have much, they're spending all this money going to these tournaments and dishing out, doing GoFundMes and everything. And these judges for their own political friggin' reasons. Somebody's donating money, somebody's doing this, somebody's, kissing the judges' asses. They're getting decisions that they shouldn't. And that's another reason why our Olympic team hasn't been doing well. I think the last time a male has won a gold medal in the Olympics from America was 2004. There's a reason for that. And, until some serious change happens, it's going to continue to be that way.
So you mentioned you had some close fights in the amateurs, and you think maybe you probably lost just 5 out of all those fights. What about the fights that you had with Kermel Moulton?
This always comes up.
Yeah,
it does, right? I mean, I thought that was a good segue.
No, yeah, you did well, Danny.
Yeah, I mean, look, me and Kermel, we fought 3 times. We fought twice as little kids, and then we fought the last time when I was 15 or 16 at nationals. And the first fight I'll give him when we were 11 or something like that. I'll give him that one. We were kids, doesn't make a difference. I fought him 6 months later with basically one arm. I had a torn elbow ligament, and I still have the videos. I clearly beat this guy. And yeah, I still have the videos to this day. I could post them, but why am I going to do that and be petty? And then I fought him when I was 15 at nationals in Shreveport, Louisiana. And the first round, I boxed this dude's head off, boxed his ears off, couldn't touch me, snapped his head back with every shot I threw. And, after the round, you can find it on YouTube. I literally after the bell rang, I was like, let's go. Because I knew there was no chance that they would have given him that round. So we sit down and whatever, and they have the scorecards shown in the corner after every round. One of the judges gave it 10-8 for him. So somehow he completely dominated the round. And then the rest of the judges gave it 10-9 for him. So not a single judge gave me the round. So I was like, what the hell? So my coach at the time told me, just box more, move more. Just don't sit there in front of him. Don't even give him a chance to land. So I moved around a little bit more. I still think I won the round. Still gave him 10-9 all the way across the board. So knowing that, I'm going to the third round, 2 rounds down. One of the judges has a freaking 10-8 round against me. So I've already lost pretty much. So, they tell me just go out there. You got to stop him, basically. So I go out there, I stand my ground, and I'm just throwing. And at this point, I'm trying my best. We're both landing good shots. And, it gets halfway in the round, and I'm just kind of like, dude, I'm dead tired. So I'm just kind of fighting off heart and instinct. But in the back of my mind, I know, it's done. I'm not going to hurt this guy. I've hit him with friggin' everything. I'm just kind of going in there and just trying to score as many punches as I can. So the bell rings and everything, and, I'm just kind of pissed because, I know how hard I worked for that fight. I trained, as hard as I could to be there and dominate this kid. And, it's whatever. I mean, it's the amateurs. It is what it is. He's on a different career path now. He fights at 130. I'm at 147, going up to 54 soon. So, as far as Kermel, I'm not really stressing about him. I don't really care. I think I'm a more entertaining style to watch. I think that, the level of opposition that he's being put up against isn't really that impressive. And the performances that he's doing against them aren't really impressive either. Say what you will about my opponents. I'm getting him out of there. This last guy, I mean, yeah, I took him the distance, but I dropped him. I had him hurt and ready to go out every round. Kermel can't say that about his opponents. And it's not shade to him. I still think he's a good fighter. It's just I hate the comparison. And I hate how people give spotlights to certain feuds because of how, they were brought up, how they were kind of groomed. He was with Mayweather. I think that's majority of the reason why he is as big as he is, and even more the reason why he won so many fights in the amateurs.
So you mentioned your fight this past weekend against Lester Espino. The first fight, because before the fight, 6-0, 6 KOs. So this is your first fight that you don't stop your opponent. You mentioned you did knock him down in the second round. When you knocked him down in the second round, was that like a confidence boost, kind of make you think or indicate that, okay, I got him down, hurt, I think I can get him out?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, I've always been confident in my power. I know I have the power to hurt anybody if I catch him with the right shot. But I also knew that Lester is dangerous. I've watched a lot of his fights, and if he does get hurt, he swings with bad intentions. And I've watched him catch prospects, undefeated prospects, and wind up stopping him because of instances like that where he would get hurt, and then he would land something big and kind of change the direction of the fight. So it was about being cautious. I think I got a little too cautious, and I just wasn't letting my shots fly. But I mean, it wasn't my best performance by any means. I wasn't going to say this because I don't really like making excuses at all. I was sick going into that fight. I'm still recovering from being sick. I mean, my throat's still bothering me. I mean, you can kind of tell with my voice, but, I was spitting up mucus in the back before the fight. Everything like that. I freaking hurt my hands on his head. When I dropped him with the left hook, I hurt my hand. And then when I threw that straight right, that snapped his head back. That's when I hurt my right. But we actually just got x-rays on it today. Fortunately, there's no fractures or anything like that. It's just bruised cartilage or something, like bruised cortex or something like that around the bone. So it's going to take about 3 weeks to heal. But no, all things considered, I still think I did decent. I just wasn't happy with my shot selection and how I handled certain things with my defense. But if I was to fight him again, I would stop him. And I think this fight was good for me in the fact that I know I can go 6 rounds now. With me being sick and not having that stamina and still being able to be explosive for 6 rounds and, have him ready to go at pretty much any moment. I think that shows that I have heart, for one. I got in there when I wasn't 100%, and I was still able to put on a dominant performance. And I think for my next fight, I think it's really going to show a huge difference because I'm going to be even more prepared. I'm going to fix the mistakes that I was making this time. And, everything that happened post-fight too. I mean, I got a lot of hate DMs from people. I saw a lot of hate comments online. I tried to, take a few days off and kind of just step away from it a little bit, but it gets kind of addicting. You see comments online, you want to respond to a few. I had people telling me to basically kill myself after my last fight. And, I normally am not one for blocking people, but I had to for a few of these. And it doesn't bother me in the sense that, like, it makes me want to quit or anything like that. It actually does the opposite. It actually makes me more pissed off and actually motivates me to train harder and keep proving these guys wrong. I mean, I've been proving people wrong my whole career from the time I was a kid with people saying I'm just, a white kid that can't fight, that's, spoiled, that hasn't had to fight for anything in his life, to now, he's a hype job, he's this, he's that, stuff like that, And I think till I retire, I don't think anybody's really going to give me my flowers. So right now it's about continuing to get in there and just not really even leaving it up for discussion. Just keep knocking these dudes out like I normally do. And, just silencing the haters. Honestly, it's one of the most fulfilling things. I'm addicted to it. And I think that's one of the main reasons why I was so upset with my last fight. It's because I knew that people are always going to say something. And I'm a fan-friendly fighter. I like giving the fans what they want to see. And, people love knockouts, and, usually I'm able to provide that. And right now it's just about getting back in the gym and making sure I can deliver that in my next fight.
Why do you think you were getting, because obviously the internet is it's the internet. People have opinions and they're behind keyboards and all that. So we understand that. But, why do you think you were getting messages like that? Kind of telling you about, killing yourself and all that. I mean, what what's the point behind that after a fight? I mean, you won the fight. I mean, it's unless it's like somebody who's just a very dedicated fan of Espino, but like I don't even think it's that, right?
No. Like I got like a few hundred. Well, not like specifically kill myself, but I got a few hundred DMs basically saying like, dude, you need to quit, hang it up, bro. Like you suck. And honestly, as to why, I mean, people hate to see other people winning. God forbid a white boy get a little emotion. Doesn't really make a difference to me. At the end of the day, it's just making me more pissed off and more, dedicated to friggin' proving everybody wrong. I mean, yeah, I've had haters since I was a kid, whether it was on social media or, behind my back, people hating behind my back. It doesn't make a difference to me. It's part of the game. People are going to hate on you no matter what you do. You could be, look at Jesus, dude. Jesus is friggin', and he still had people that wanted to kill him. So, it doesn't make a difference. I'm not saying I'm Jesus, by the way.
No, we get it. Yeah.
But no, it is what it is. It's part of the game. I'm going to have a lot more of it in the years to come, especially if I keep knocking people out. People are going to find a reason to hate over something. So might as well be because I'm really good, right? So.
But I think it's good that you said that it did bother you, but you've had the discipline to just kind of stay away from it or block it or whatever feature you had to use and all that. But also, like you said, like you're now getting more fame. You're on these global broadcasts, signed by a big promoter and a professional fighter, undefeated. So, can you name a fighter or even just a famous person in general, but especially a professional boxer who has more and more fame, gets more and more famous, who doesn't have any haters? That's kind of like an indication of success, isn't it?
Yeah, for the most part, even people that it's impossible to hate on, like Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao has haters. Dude, that guy's the nicest guy ever.
Yeah.
I met Triple G personally, and I can genuinely say that I don't think he has a bad bone in his body. Mm-hmm. But, people still find a way to hate on him, and I think that's just part of the things that come with boxing. Boxing is such a toxic sport. The fan base is ridiculous. Luckily, I've had more positive feedback from fans than negative. But no, negative feedback from fans is always going to be a part of the sport. Any sport, really. I think boxing is just a lot more toxic and a lot more critical. But yeah, as I get older, I don't really think it's going to matter any more than it is now. At the end of the day, I'm still getting paid to punch people in the face, so it's still pretty sick.
How much did you fanboy when you met Triple G?
Oh, I was like, this was like in my peak fanboy stage, dude. That was like, I think it was like 9 or 10, and that's when I didn't even know what to ask him. He asked me, I shook his hand and everything, and then I just kind of stood there. He was like, do you have any questions to ask me or anything? And I was like, no. I didn't know what to say. But no, luckily he was really cool, man. He brought me in the ring with him, and we shadow boxed a little bit. He kind of cut off the ring, taught me how to cut off the ring a little bit. Super nice guy, man. I have nothing but good things to say about him. And hopefully one day I get to meet him again and just kind of show him I met you back then. And he's had such a friggin' impact on my career, even though he hasn't been a part of it really. The fact that he was my first favorite fighter. I still do things kind of the way that he did. And I want to kind of have that image that he did. You know what I mean? I think I went on a bigger scale. But I definitely want to be recognized as somebody like Triple G.
Do you mean stylistically as well? Like you see things that you do in the ring that he does?
Certain things. Not necessarily the style, but little techniques, I'll say. Little tricks, little defensive moves on the inside, subtle defense, stuff like that. I think he was a lot more limited as far as footwork. I think he was a standard go-forward fighter. Whereas I think I have a little bit more in my arsenal as far as footwork and stuff like that. But he was definitely one of the best hunter fighters I've ever seen in my life.
Do you think you have good footwork because you share a gym with MJ, Madrimov, and all those guys whose footwork is amazing?
100%. Yeah, no. Israel had kind of taken me under his wing as far as footwork. We used to mess around and do drills with each other when I was, just a kid. So, I grew up working on that style and trying to perfect it. And I think that's one of the things that makes me a different fighter is I'm able to mimic styles like that. We have we have code words for different punches, different styles and everything like that. So, we have like a whole dialect, like a whole different language. So like if we go to spar or like even in fights, you'll hear my dad say like crazy stuff and you're like, dude, that doesn't make any sense. And then you'll see me do a move and you're like, okay, maybe that's what it is. Yeah, we have so many different terms and like terminologies, and my coaches are still trying to pick up on it because me and my dad have talked about it pretty much every time we drive home from sparring or anything like that. And we're finally starting to get on the same page with everything, and it's really starting to come together now as I'm getting older and I'm trying to mature as a professional fighter. So yeah, I mean, it's only going to get more and more polished. There was a few instances in my last fight where the footwork kind of got sloppy, but it was because I was a little tired. But no, it's only going to get sharper, and I'm only going to be able to show more of my style and more things as I get more experience and get in there with some tougher guys.
So I've been waiting to ask this question, but I needed the right time. So one of your older interviews, you said the hardest puncher you've been in the ring with was MJ.
Yeah, no, I stand by that to this day. Yeah. Pound for pound, I'll say that. Pound for pound, he's the strongest. That dude literally hits like I sparred middleweights. I sparred super middleweights. He hits like a middleweight. Some super middleweights. It actually hurts. Like thinking about it right now, my face hurts. Yeah.
And like what, 30 pounds lighter than you, right? Probably.
Well, depends on when we're talking. When he comes into camp, we might be around the same weight, dude. Guy's a little freaking meatball. No, but no, he's strong for sure. The last time I sparred him, I was 135, and he was just coming into camp. But no, like it physically hurt. Even when he would punch you on the arms and stuff like that. It's not the power where it's like pop, right? Like there's other fighters that have pop, that stinging, shots where if they hit you on the guard, you don't really feel it, but then they hit you clean and you're like, oh snap. This one, it genuinely feels like he's hitting you with a sledgehammer. Every time he hits like your guard, your whole body moves, and it's like, yeah, probably don't want to get hit with that again. But no, I want to say hardest puncher in general though, like not pound for pound, just in general, I'd probably say Rajab Butaev.
Oh, really?
That's interesting.
Yeah. He could literally touch you like that, and it's solid. Like he doesn't even try, and he hits hard. He hits you to the body. It feels like he's stabbing you with a knife.
Yeah.
So.
What an analogy that is, huh?
Yeah, no, it's brutal, dude. It doesn't feel good.
It's good for you though, right? To be surrounded by essentially just a gym full of killers.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think, there's a lot of mixed kind of opinions on this, but, I think me being able to take those punches from guys like that in the gym, I think it kind of builds up punch tolerance for the fight. Obviously, you don't want to get hit too much in the lead up to the fight. That's where you take the most damage. But just being able to know that, you can take those punches in the ring and stuff like that, and you kind of work your body to being able to adapt to it and stuff like that. I think, honestly, that's what really helped me in this last fight. This opponent, he could crack. I'll give it to him. Like, by far, he hit harder than any other opponent that I faced in professional boxing so far. And, I was able to eat those punches really well, even those 10-ounce gloves, just because I think the tolerance from sparring with these bigger guys and everything like that. So, I definitely think that, the harder sparring that you get, the better the fight.
What was the biggest piece of feedback that your corner gave you after the fight? When you guys kind of had to regroup and all that, what was the biggest piece of feedback that said, hey, we noticed this or we noticed that, we need to work on this going forward?
Headhunting for sure. But a lot of my team was just trying to tell me not to be too hard on myself. For me, this decision win felt like a loss for me. Because even though I walk out of there with a win, there's not a blemish on my record or anything like that. I lost the streak. That was my thing. I realized, knockouts aren't everything, right? But it's definitely something that, like, I wanted for myself. And I was kind of beating myself up over that. And, my coach just kind of told me, like, dude, like, it's okay. Like, you got to work. It's fine. Like, it's a learning experience. You still did good. You dominated. You dropped them. Like, you did everything short of a knockout. But, no. And then after they realized I was kind of over, being upset, then they were like, yeah, but you freaking headhunted. You did this. You did that. And I was like, okay, guys, please. No. But, no, headhunting, smothering myself, loading up on shots, on every shot. I wasn't disguising my power. I wasn't tap, 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 boom. It was just boom, 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 boom. And I think that's kind of the reason why I kind of got a little tired too. I was just trying. I was 100% effort anytime I threw. So it is what it is. I mean, 7-0, 6 KOs. I mean, it's still a really good record. Yeah, we're going to get back in there. I think I'm already friggin' looking up people online to friggin' for my next opponent, tougher matchup. Because I want to I want to get in there with somebody that's even better, and I want to put them, I want to put them out just to kind of make a statement. Like, yeah, I'm still here. Like, it's still there. So, yeah.
Cayden, I think I'm right in saying you don't have a nickname yet, right?
Yeah, no, I don't.
I want to throw one in the mix.
Jesus.
Let's hear it. Jesus?
Cayden El Kukui Griffiths.
Ooh. I like it. It has a nice little ring to it, Rolls off the tongue.
Cayden Kukui, you're in a Mexican area, Mexican gym.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I've been seeing a lot of people trying to come up with nicknames online, especially on TikTok and stuff. I've noticed I've kind of been blowing up on there the last few days. But no, I've actually seen that one on there too. That one was a good one on there. People are saying like the White Diamond, the Great White, Miklo from Blood In, Blood Out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but no, we'll figure it out. I mean, I don't know. The nickname can't be too cool because then like it's just like not cool anymore. It's got to be like on that border of like not cool and cool. But no, I like it. I'll try it out. I'll see where it goes.
See, there you go, the boogeyman.
I like it.
Kind of walk us through about when you signed your promotional deal. Like, did you have any other discussions with any other promoters, or what was going through your mind at that time?
Yeah. So okay. So this went back all the way back to junior in high school. Oscar De La Hoya was the first to kind of reach out to me. We had been, I'd been going around to shows like that because after my last amateur fight, I kind of knew, like, I don't want to fight in the amateurs anymore. I was a junior in high school, but I was like, I'm done with this. Like, I'm tired of, judges being corrupt and everything. So my manager, Alec, and Vadim, they were taking me to the fights, Matchroom shows, Golden Boy shows and stuff like that, and kind of just, having me be around. Not exactly, introducing me, but kind of having me in that kind of setting to where I was being seen. And I was actually in New York in June of 2023. And I was there for Bivol getting his Fighter of the Year award for fighting Canelo. And I was in the hotel room one night, and I get a text from Oscar. And all it says is, "You signed?" And I kind of did this thing where I was like, I swiped up on the notification, and like I just kind of dismissed it because I was like, whatever. And then I was like, wait a minute, that's Oscar De La Hoya asking me if I'm signed. So I texted my manager real quick. I was, hey man, freaking Oscar just texted me. What do I say? And at the time, he didn't tell me this, but we were looking at offers from Matchroom and Top Rank too. So he goes, just say we're looking at offers. So I told him that, whatever. And then a few months go by, and I'm starting to pick up a little bit more steam. I start trying to take my social media a lot more serious as far as posting and everything like that, trying to build my name. And, we get a call from Golden Boy, and, they want to put me on a show. So I make my debut in June of 2024. We had a few other cards before that fell through, but this one was like for sure like set. They had found me an opponent and everything. So I made my debut, looked good, showed out, went viral. Oscar texted me right after and was like, dude, you look great. Really excited for our future. And at the time I wasn't signed yet. So I fought another fight. Got the stoppage, looked good, texted me again. And it was to the point I was kind of like wondering like, where's this contract going? But my manager was actually doing the best thing for me, and he was just negotiating it. Just making sure like, we're going to make sure you get paid more than, what they would give any other fighter. So, I fight one more time in January, and I was supposed to fight in March and here in Indio. And, my opponent fell out, but, I had just signed the contract to be signed. So, they announced the signing. I went down to Cancun 3 weeks later, and that's when I got the viral knockout, the one that got like 4 million views, freaking put him to sleep. And honestly, I wish I would have been signed after that one, dude. Man, we could have freaking, yeah, no, but it's all good. I'm very happy with Golden Boy. I've had a lot of people ask me, how it is with Golden Boy. Like, is there any like shady stuff happening? And honestly, I don't see that at all. At least with me. I mean, Golden Boy has treated me amazing. Oscar and Holly and Eric and everybody at Golden Boy has treated me like nothing but family. So, no, shout out to everybody at Golden Boy. I couldn't be more blessed and honored to be a part of the team. And I'm extremely happy with the position that I'm in with Golden Boy, being able to fight here at home, on bigger shows and everything like that on DAZN. I mean, there's a lot of fighters that are still fighting in Mexico and paying their opponents to fight. I'm getting paid very well by Golden Boy, and I can't be more excited for the future.
Did it get close, with Top Rank or Matchroom, or was Golden Boy the only one that you guys really did numbers with?
Matchroom did a good offer. It's just, Golden Boy made more sense for me. And, it's Top Rank was the only one where I didn't really like the idea of it. They wanted to match me up against a guy that was 7-0 with 5 knockouts for my debut. And it was kind of like, why would you do that? You know what I mean? But, Matchroom had us with a good offer, but Golden Boy beat it. And logically and everything like that, it just made more sense to sign with Golden Boy. And honestly, I couldn't be happier that I did. I think for my career, Golden Boy makes more sense. They're able to market me better. I have Mexican coaches and everything like that. And I think with Golden Boy, the Mexican fan base is really prominent. And most of my fans are Mexican. I have a lot of Mexican fans. I have people, not even Mexican, but just the Latin community in general. I have people from freaking Argentina, Chile, everywhere in South America reaching out, and it's to the point now where I can kind of diversify my fan base, because I've had, people from Europe. I've had people from the UK. I had like 30 people from the UK text me the day of my fight and ask me like what time it was over there in the UK to fight, like watch my fight and everything like that. So, I've been able to get on the big cards on DAZN, and I think that's really been important for boosting my name. And, with Oscar backing me and promoting me and everything like that, I think it just makes sense. And
just like my nickname in Spanish, El Cucuy,
Yeah, no, 100%, man. And this year, I really think is the breakout year for me. I think this year you're going to see me talked about a lot more. I know we're going to try to push for a junior title at the end of this year. At least that's what I've been told. So, I'm more than ready for the opportunity. I couldn't be happier to be in that position to where they believe in me to fight for that at the end of this year at 19, or I'll be 20, but at 20 years old. So, no, man, with a few more good performances, God willing, I keep performing and, doing everything well and staying on the right track, man. I should be on my way.
And your gym is pretty much split between Golden Boy and Matchroom, really, isn't it? You got Madrimov and MJ if he's still with Matchroom, and then you've got the Flores brothers and other people all with Golden Boy.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I mean, nothing personal towards Matchroom. I mean, they're great people. I've met with Eddie and Frank a few times, just being around them at the fights and stuff. And, they're really nice, great people. So yeah, it's nothing personal towards them. It's just for my career. I think Golden Boy was a better option.
It also helps that Golden Boy does a lot of fights in the Coachella Valley, so it's right there where you live. Yeah,
exactly. Like I got to make my debut at home and kind of build a fan base in my hometown. And social media allows you to get the fan base in other places, like it has for me. So, it's kind of like an equal balance. And Golden Boy's done a good job of putting me on different cards too. I fought in LA, I fought in Vegas, I even fought in Cancun. That's how many people get to say they do that. That was freaking sick. I got a vacation out of it too. Yeah. But no, it's been great, man. I can't wait for the next year. Hopefully, they can work something out. Maybe put me on the Ryan card in February. Doubtful, but if they call me last minute, I'll be there. I'll make sure I'll start running tomorrow.
Yeah. Cayden, we wanted to get your take on, you talked about being signed with Golden Boy and, your experience, at least so far, has been great. Everything's been great. With Vergil Ortiz kind of going through what he's going through right now, you're at the beginning of your career right now, just newly signed essentially with Golden Boy. How do you look at like a fighter like Vergil, who you have firsthand experience with because, you were around him for a while. And now he's going through him and his team are going through their situation with a promoter that you're also on the same team with, I know it's like difficult to kind of see into the future, but how do you look at something like that? Is it just business or what do you think?
I really don't know. The whole situation. So I'm good friends with Vergil. I actually tried to ask him. He said he couldn't tell me anything.
Yeah.
Just because, the legal stuff like that. But I'm sure that whatever it is will get worked out. I mean, Vergil is a great guy. From what I understand, it's not Vergil butting heads. I think it's people of his team. But I mean, that's not my business. At the end of the day, I know my team would try to do what's best for me. Maybe that's what his team is doing. I don't know. I'm not going to say more on it just because, I don't want to shoot myself in the foot because I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm talking about. But, no, I'm sure things will get sorted out. Both parties, I'm sure they're just having a little problem, but they'll get it sorted out.
What's the chance you and Vergil starting an acoustic boy band?
I mean, I don't know who would be the singer, but it's definitely not going to be me. I sound like a dying cat, man.
It could be instrumental.
Just guitar, just shredding.
Yeah.
No, I'm honestly not that good. I teach myself. Vergil taught himself too, but I mean, he's a lot better than I am, but he also has a few years on me. But no, I'm trying to get on that Vergil Ortiz grind. I actually have my guitars right here. I was actually playing right before
we started. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there's really not much else to do in the Valley other than box and play guitar. So
now that would get views if you did your own entrance, just acoustic on the way down.
Yeah, be kind of hard with the gloves on, but we'll figure it out. We'll do something. Yeah, no, but no. I mean, yeah, guitar. Yeah, honestly, I actually had somebody DM me the other day and say that we should do like a collab for the guitar, me and Vergil. So we send each other Instagram reels every day. I might just have to send him a text like, "Hey, man, let's link up." But
yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
2026 Christmas #1.
Yeah. Oh man, that'd be hilarious.
Man. Well, Cayden, we definitely appreciate your valuable time here on the podcast, especially coming off a fight a couple days ago. And we know that we didn't touch on it, but you were checked by multiple doctors for your eye, and they all cleared you, right?
Yeah. It's pretty much gone now. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's basically just a pop blood vessel. You can get it from sneezing too hard. Right. So it looks a lot worse than what it is. I saw comments online saying like, how is he fighting with that and everything like that? It doesn't affect my vision at all. It's blood on the surface of the eye, not actually inside the eye. So there was no damage to the eye or anything like that. There wasn't anything obstructing it. So, the commission in California is really strict. If they allowed me to fight, I was good. So.
One more thing. Obviously, the main event fell through. Carrillo versus Rocha, at least in their rematch. So hopefully we get it later this year. But both of them are around your weight class. Could you see maybe in the future? I mean, all Golden Boy fighters, they could line up. Would you be, open to matchups with those guys in the future?
Yeah, 100%. I'll fight anybody. I mean, I have nothing but respect for both fighters. I think Raul and Alexis are great fighters. I've met Alexis and Raul both, and they're great people, great fighters, and I have nothing but respect for them. I mean, as a fighter, though, I mean, I think I can beat them, but as every fighter should think that way. As a fighter, you got to be able to believe that you could beat Muhammad Ali. Like, if you don't have that confidence in yourself, you already lost the battle. So, but yeah, no, I definitely could see myself fighting them in the future. I mean, it depends on how fast Golden Boy wants to move me and where I end up as far as weight. But no, I'm down to fight anybody, man. I don't shy away from anything. I don't care what anybody's reputation is as a fighter or, their record or anything like that. If you're a fighter and you want to fight, I'm down to scrap. I don't want to lose, but that just means I have to beat your ass. So,
yeah. Are you more comfortable at 154?
Right now, I'm a little undersized for 154, but like I'm kind of in that weird stage in between where like it's getting kind of hard for me to make 47. Mm-hmm. But we're just kind of thinking like, what's the point of working hard to get up in the rankings at 47 if I'm going to be at 54 by the time I fight for a title? So kind of the way I have to catch weight at 140 or 150 for this fight, and I think this next fight we're going to do 151, and then every fight we're going to step up a pound until we get to 54, and then we're just going to kind of fill out there and kind of just get used to the weight, the power, and everything. Start fighting bigger guys. This guy was a step up as far as size as well. This guy was a big dude. But no, I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to new opportunities and new challenges with this weight division, and I can't be more excited to get up there with the top level guys and see how I match up against them.
I was going to name Blair Cobbs as a potential opponent, but if you're going up 150, 151
anymore, does he fight anymore?
Yeah, he fought this year. Yeah.
Oh,
and he fought Broner. Was it last year or the year before?
Yeah, honestly, he's explosive. That'd be an exciting fight. I didn't know he still fought, but
November. He fought in November in Mexico. Oh. And then he was supposed to fight in the UK, but the opponent got called off last minute and the fight fell through.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll see. But no, I mean, whoever it is, man, I'll fight anybody. You know, as long as I end up with those belts around my waist and a pocket full of cash and like a bunch of houses and stuff, I'm chilling. Yeah.
Not asking for much.
Yeah, nothing too crazy, right? Just something like.
Absolutely. Well, Cayden, we appreciate it. Before we finish up here, go ahead and let the listeners know where they can find your accounts and keep up with you, and then what the rest of the year potentially looks like for you.
You can follow my social media. It's just literally my first and last name, Cayden Griffiths. You can find that on Instagram and TikTok. And then, for the rest of the year, it's just going to be, me getting back in the gym. I'm going to try to get back in the ring as soon as possible. Getting out there and, knocking some more dudes out. Like I said, we're probably going to try to fight for a junior title at the end of this year. And I'm really excited for that. I think that's really going to be kind of the point where, I start getting talked about against these top level names at the top of the division. Junior title should put me in the top at least 30 in the world. So, I'm really excited for this year, especially being going to be 20 years old by the end of this year. So, being that young and being talked about at the level that I am, I think it's exciting and kind of lets you know I have a high ceiling for the years to come.
Absolutely. Mike, before we sign off, go ahead and let them know once again where they can find us and follow us.
At The Last Round 12 on Instagram and Twitter.
And be sure to catch us next week, most likely with our regular episodes and the reviews, previews, and news and all that. So for our guest of the week, to the now 7-0 with 6 KOs, Cayden Griffiths of Golden Boy Promotions, who just fought this past week in the Coachella Valley. For my co-host, Michael Shepard, I'm Danny Z. This is The Last Round.
Thanks for supporting and listening to the show. Follow us at The Last Round 12 on social media. Rate, review, and subscribe. This is The Last Round Podcast.